The case that I decided to do was Schifman versus Spring. This case was held in the New York Supreme Court in 1994. First off, the court ruled in favor of the defendants, which is Spring, an athletic director of State University Genosis. The court ruled unanimously to dismiss this case, and without cost or motions being granted against the athletic director of State University. The plaintiff in the case is Michelle Schifman. She was a varsity soccer player for the University of New York, Brockport. Where her complaint came in was that the athletic director showed negligence based on a field being too dangerous where she was injured on September 2nd, 1987 at State University. While testifying, Schifman stated that she felt that the playing field was too dangerous and that she had complained to her coaches about it. And with the field being too dangerous, she said it was wet, slippery, and muddy. And that the injury that she sustained was because her foot got stuck in the mud. And she also stated that she voluntarily still played in the game, and that while playing in the game, the injury, she played in these conditions for the first half where she didn't receive an injury, but it was early in the second half when she received the injury. But again, she voluntarily went out on the field even though she was concerned of the playing surface. The defendants, which was the athletic director, then came back with that and submitted proof that the plaintiff voluntarily participated in the soccer game and was aware of the conditions, understanding the risk of injury, and concluding that the consequences of the injury was not due to their duty to care for the safety of the participants. As I stated earlier, the court ruled in favor of the defendants, and the fact that the plaintiff could not give any proof that she did not voluntarily participate in the event, knowing the conditions of the field, and that was even though the field was wet and slippery and muddy. This case really made me kind of think that this is why having a risk knowledge participation form is so important. Because this is something that all participants need to know the risks while they're participating, and that they are volunteering and saying that they are okay with these risks. And that's why you need to have a form and have it signed. So that if a case like this was to happen against you, then you would be able to go to court and prove that the people that are complaining had full knowledge of the risks that are involved, and that they are volunteering to participate even though knowing those risks. A situation that I think is something that's kind of worth note is that so many fields now all have are turf, right? And something that I've noticed through coaching is that a lot of turf fields all have like they get worn down over time, and then all of a sudden they get these dips that you can't see unless you walk up onto them. And I think that is something that needs to be disclaimed to anyone you're playing and anyone that's playing for you, about the risk of that dip. I don't know, because it could cause injury, and that's something as an athletic director that I think you would want to get fixed immediately, but also that if there was an injury, that the players volunteered to participate while that like little dip in the turf or anything like that is there. Another example I was thinking about is just in the locker room. As an athletic director, or even just a principal, I think something that might go unnoticed and you would think would be just common sense is that when showers are in use, the floor gets slippery and wet, and people might fall. Well, I think that you need to put up a sign that says slippery than when wet, like they do everywhere when there's something spilled on the floor at some business, wherever you're at. I think, one, you're warning everyone to use caution, but also you're protecting yourself against any litigation in case someone does happen to fall or anything like that, so that they understand that there's a possibility of risk of injury if you're not careful when a floor is slippery.